Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a treat. We're going to be doing our third video now here on animation, and we're going to take all of the illustrations and animations that we've already created in Piskel app, and we're going to bring that into Canva. It's really exciting, so let's get into it. What is up, everybody? I'm excited for this video. First thing you're going to do is you're going to start a video. Literally, you're going to go into Canva and you're going to click on video and you're going to go to create a blank video. Now, the aspect ratio for this is 1920 by 1080. That's important to know because it's a rectangle. It's elongated, kind of like your television screen or your phone if you turn it on, sideways. And the other thing to remember is because it is this, elongated rectangle, the things we made in Piskel are square. So you're going to have an aspect ratio difference. Here's how to solve that problem. Go into Uploads, grab your files. In this case, your image is going to be a square. This is my stage and this is my background, okay? I'm going to, make it bigger so that it fills the top and bottom, but I'm not stretching it out, okay? Don't stretch this out so that it goes all the way left to right. We don't want to deform or change at all the image. The image is a square. Keep it a square, okay? Now, here's where here's where the fix comes in. I'm going to hit R for a rectangle in Canva, and the default for me right now is a yellow for some reason. So I'm going to change that color. Couple things about color. When you're making the background, the color should not be a distraction. It should be black or something dark. I'm going to go into color. If you look where the color is, you just click on the color icon and then you can change the color. Now, I'm not going to do all zeros, hex code, black. That's like if you're printing, that's like all 6 zeros, right? That is black ink. We don't want that for this. At least I don't. I'm going to use what we call rich black. The hex code for that is 01, 02, 03. Easy to remember, right? Now, I like it because it gives a richer tone, especially with screen work. If you're doing anything on screen or video, I like rich black. So I'm going to use that. After I select that color, I'm going to right click on it, go to layers, and then of course, send this all the way to the back. Now I have my stage. We're ready to go. Very important thing to remember though, is that your character should already have some movement. It should already be what we call a GIF file. So that's not going to be under uploads images. That's going to be under uploads and videos. Now I'm going to scroll down, get my GIF, and it comes in fuzzy. Why? Because it's 32 by 32 in a 256 by 256 world. We have to reduce the size to make it kind of nice and sharp. So I'm just going to bring this down and I'm going to show you 3 ways to animate this character. I'm not going to tell you that this first way is going to be great, okay? In fact, it's going to be a little choppy. So this character is going to move incrementally. And a couple of things to know is that if each page or each scene, if you will, can be extended, I could elongate the length of each one of these scenes as long as I want. Like right now, this one scene's going to take a minute. I don't want it to take a minute. In fact, I'm going to bring it all the way down to less than a second, 0.1 of a second. And I'm going to duplicate that page and then move my character. And I'm going to duplicate once again and then move my character. And I think you know where I'm going with this, right? This is going to be a process. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to do frame by frame animation because that would drive me crazy. But I'm showing this because there might be an aspect to your story where you need to move a character frame by frame. There might be something where you want total control over a certain element and you want to move it incrementally, it's totally fine. Like there's a time and a place for all techniques. I'm not saying that one technique is better or one technique is worse. They're all there for us. So just know that this technique is time tested. They've been doing frame by frame animation forever. And there's a reason for it, and a good reason. You have complete control over the character. So now, again, I'm going to do this 10 times because if I did this right, I should have 10 pages, which will amount to 1 second of animation. So you can see how laborious this process is. But again, it should work. It will work. I know it will work. So let's play. All right, let's see how this looks. Okay, no promises. So hit play. Hey, it's moving. I told you it would move. So obviously very choppy, not great, but it's moving. Okay, this is animation. Animation is taking something that's not moving and making it move. And we did that. Okay, so we're going to close this out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you another way. So I'm going to delete or go back all these steps. So I'm just undoing everything, taking it back to baseline. So this is my set. This is my character or my actor, if you will. And I'm going to move this now in one shot. All right, one easy move. So here's a cool thing you can do. On the bottom, again, I could change duration. I'm just going to make this about a 3-second frame, and I'm going to duplicate again. So I'm going to duplicate this, and now in the second frame, I have 2 frames, both 3 seconds. I'm going to move the character from the center bottom to this blue planet over here. Maybe it's landing there, maybe it's crash landing there, but it's going there, okay? The cool thing about Canva is they have these new transitions that are that you can put in between each frame. So a transition is something that you add between frames, whether it's a swipe, a pan, you're moving the camera in some way or moving a character in some way. So if you just put your cursor or your little arrow in between the frames, a little drop down comes in there and it says transition. So I'm going to add a little transition. And when I do that, a window pops up and it gives you these kind of pocketed transitions, which are kind of cool. Some are really interesting. Now, the one that we're going to use is in beta right now. Now, when a new thing comes into Canva, sometimes it has this little beta setting or feature. And what's that just saying is it's saying, hey, we're testing this out. We want to see how this works. And there's probably going to be more that comes from this later on. I'm excited about this because it's a cool transition. So if I hit that, it now fills the gap. So it understands what the previous page was. It understands what the new page is. And it's kind of filling the gap between those two. Now I could also change the duration of how long it takes for that transition to go. So I'm going to move it to 1.5 seconds. Now, if I play this out, there it goes. Beautiful. I made something move, right? There's animation. So this is another way to animate. You might find uses for frame by frame. You might find uses for this transitional move. The next one, though, is going to be super cool. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to show you this new animation feature. So this is the character. This is my stage, and I want to move my character around. If I select the element, in this case, it's a rocket ship, and I click on animate, this new feature is it kind of says create an animation, drag the elements around the canvas, right? So if I click on that, the screen goes gray, and I could move the character in a way where it kind of has this path, right? Where it's going to move and sway and move around. That's really cool. So if I hit smooth, it'll go, but it'll go kind of slow in the beginning. And then, it kind of glides a little bit. If I hit steady, it goes a little bit quicker, but there's a little less shakiness. And then this is like really cool. This is orient elements to path, which means basically that it's going to know the shape of the object, and it's going to know that, okay, it's going to point the object in the direction of the path. This is really cool. So if I hit that, it's going to kind of fly the point of it all the way around, which is interesting. And I can move the speed along, and that's kind of cool. Now, I've seen this work even better before. So I'm going to delete that path, and I'm going to do this again. And I'm just going to fly this around, and let's see what this does when I hit the orient path. That's looking a lot better. So I think what happens sometimes is, depending on the path you make, that orient tool is trying to change the direction of the object so that it's staying along the path. So you might have to play around with that a little bit. So that's kind of a cool thing. And I'm going to add steady to it, and then it feels a little bit better. And I'm going to add a little more speed to it. And there we go. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please use these techniques. I feel like when you are trying to move a character in a world like this, having multiple techniques, having different ways to animate is really super helpful. I'm going to do one more video about these kinds of animations coming along pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope this was helpful to you. So if you do like this video, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to like it and hit those notification bells. All right. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.